our second album, and quite a gear change, is Private Music by Deftones. And this was my choice for August. So, yeah, I mean, I'll ultimately, and I suppose from doing our kind of look back at the 2020s, revisiting OMS from 2020, the ninth record by the band, realized just how much I love that album. And yeah, seeing that they were bringing this one out and it's been 5 years, was very keen to sort of wrap my ears around Private Music and see what they got this time around, aside from the striking album cover with the lime green background and the white snake slithering through. And it's quite different to OMS, whereas OMS I think sort of grips you in its darkness ultimately. This one is not quite as dark, but it's very varied. Um, but what it does retain is that you listen and then you're locked in, which that's what I would say the current is, and really enjoyed the singles leading up to this. My Mind is a Mountain and Milk of the Madonna. But listening all together, it's so listenable. It really takes you in. I think if you're gonna have maybe a slight criticism on OMS, the lyrics were a bit opaque. But on Private Music, you do get a little bit more of an insight. It's not, they're never going to be the most, I'm never going to go on Genius and it's going to tell me like CMAT's album, exactly what was on their mind when they wrote the song. But here you do get a bit more direct lyricism than the previous one. And yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's themes of love, themes of kind of dreamlike states I got from quite a few of these songs. That kind of nether region between like basically in bed and sleep, and that it's sort of slightly not their state in which you're in, and really sort of delve into that in a quite kind of ethereal way. But yeah, with all that variety on this album, it's just a great listen. I mean, yeah, My Mind is a Mountain just kicks off massive intro here with marching band style drums. You get sort of lyrics on and a bit of a negative state of mind and this jagged electric guitar. Then Locked Club just keeps it going, sort of with this huge guitar sound. A bit about tribes, I think here. Maybe it's kind of echo chambers on the internet being addressed. You got Ecdysis, which is third up, which has a fairly nefarious atmosphere to it, and I felt sort of fitted the album cover the most on this album. A symbol of our plague shakes our bones awake is one of the refrains here, and seems to sort of take on kind of climate catastrophe in this one, and maybe humanity's complacency to that. So it's a really solid start, but then it just, for me, goes up a level with Infinite Source and Souvenir. Infinite Source, yeah, speaking about direct lyrics, it's almost saying, right, that's it, we're off. Thanks very much. The last ride we're going to take, a final wave and bow, which you can either take as just the general ending of every gig they do, or like something more telegraphing a bigger message, which again, there's been a bit of talk on the internet about whether this is them saying it. It was a bit strange that it would be fourth in the track list, but but there we go nonetheless. It's a really fantastic song. And then Souvenir, possibly my favorite on the album. Yeah, it goes into that kind of dreamlike state, and yeah, just really embraces the mystery of nighttime and shared but different dreams with your partner or loved ones. So I like that the really dreamy atmosphere just really pulls me in. And then I could do all of these, I suppose, but other one, I mean, second half it gets even better. I think about you all the time is actually my favorite one. Sorry, where they really just dial it down.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just beautiful love song, really. Um, and I don't know whether it's towards a partner or a parent actually on this one. I wondered if it's more parent based on the lyrics, but still just um, yeah, so heartfelt and just absolutely fantastic that one. So if you're not even into metal music, give that one a go. That might be your entry point. And then yeah, they sort of back to it with Milk of the Madonna, Cut Hands, and then Departing the Body is another fantastic outro. So I've whittled through most of the tracks on there, given a bit of an overview of the whole thing, and I'm not saying anything which drags it down at all. It's just different levels of great,
Yeah.
either fantastic or great. I wouldn't say any of them are just decent either. So yeah, Deftones, they're on a roll. They're they're darlings now, the Gen Z, TikTok, and all this kind of stuff, having this renaissance. I'm gutted I couldn't get a ticket to their O2 show next year because it just sold immediately. So I kind of wish they weren't as popular with the younger generation. But yeah, I am grateful that they're still bringing out music as good as this, and all it makes me want to do is just dive back actually to their because they're one of the new bands. They're not new metal, but they were in that ballpark when I was getting into that music, and I didn't give them as much of a go as I did with others, and this just makes me want to go back to that stuff and have a more rounded view. So
Mm.
yeah, what did you make of private music?
Yeah, sort of similar to you. You, yeah, you said like new metal scene. I get like similar to you, very much my era. It was kind of the main sound that I was drawn to just as I was discovering music, and probably still there as well in, I guess, like my eclectic music taste. That kind of genre bending nature of it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, has probably influenced it somewhat, but yeah, Deftones, as you say, obviously right in that scene at that time. But I think I was just probably too young to appreciate them at that time. I was only what 10 years old, I think, or not even that when their first couple came out. So yeah, I actually came to them at Gore, which they released, I want to say 2016, maybe. Um, which then, yeah, that would really enjoyed that record, and then that sent me back to the likes of White Pony, Diamond Eyes, Around the Fur, which there's still quite a few in their catalog that I've not listened to. But yeah, certainly the key ones I listened to, and then yeah, like I say, enjoyed Gore, and then OMS, as you mentioned, big step up. The title track for me was particularly amazing. Definitely one of my songs of the year that year. But yeah, the whole thing just fantastic. Not a bad moment on there. And now with private music, I genuinely think it might be my favorite Deftones record so far of the ones that I've listened to. Doesn't really, change the formula. It is the sound that they've been making, for the past 20 plus years. But for me, they're just doing that signature sound better, tighter than they ever have done before. From the moment Mind as a Mountain kicks in, you just get those thunderous guitars, the rumbling drums, and like you say, from like very listenable. It's just an absolute blast all the way through. The industrial screech of Ecdysis, the playful riffs that you've got there on Infinite Source. And then yeah, it's just very well paced as well. You get the relief of that ambient interlude that comes in at like the end of Souvenir. Um into, I think about this all the time. And then we get the grungier moments as well, like Cut Hands, and then Milk of the Madonna is just colossal. You can see why it's become like this instant fan favorite. Big riffs, that Holy Spirit, I'm on fire refrain that is just gonna send it off at their live show. Um, and yeah, like I say, it just all flows together perfectly. The pacing is spot on. The energy is always at the right level. Um, and yeah, 10 albums, 30 years into their career. It's quite remarkable, really, how awesome this record is. So, I won't say too much more. I think you covered it all, really. But I think it's one of those. If you love Deftones, you'll adore this record. I think it's them at their best. And you mentioned about entry points. I think if you're not familiar with Deftones and you need that kind of late entry point, then this is also the perfect starter record to kind of show you why they're so, revered in the metal scene and still going all these years later. So yeah, big thumbs up from me for sure.
Yeah. I was just remembering as well that the only album I had of them sort of back in the day was the self-titled one, 2003. Like Minerva came out, which is a
Mm.
still one of their best songs for me. But that album I didn't love. So like I kind of parked, obviously I know all the other hits from all the various other albums, but never delved in as much. And then it was seeing randomly, I think Sunday Times or whatever, they were talking about OMS, and I was thinking, oh, Deftones, yeah, let's give that a go. And then was kind of blown away from that. So yeah,
This can't be the
def
same band.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the self-titled they went more screamo than I was expecting.
Mm.
But also a bit what you said. Like I think I was a bit young for them at the time when I got into them, and so yeah, it's definitely the time to revisit some of the other ones for sure.